Shri Mataji has just very clearly said that we should stop worrying about the planes. Everything is arranged, everything is done, there's nothing to worry about tickets, nothing to worry about the planes. Please stop worrying, it really hurts Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji just said that it hurts her when we think and keep on worrying about our planes. Everything is arranged, nothing to worry.
Sahajayogis should not fall to that level. The sahajayogis should not fall to such a level of mundane type of people. After all, what is going to happen to you? I would say those who have been worrying and all that should go into great meditation and understand that you are insulting yourself. You are saints. Why should you worry about what plane you are going to get, what you are not going to get? Shows that your level is very low. Definitely. All those who have worried. You have come here under my protection and I will go back under my protection. I got so sick this morning that I was thinking we will not have any pujas. You must know that you are all part and parcel of my being. I have put you in my body and you have to behave yourself. So on such an auspicious day, when we have all come here to do this special puja, I would say this should be called as a Mahalakshmi puja because it's something to do with the industry of this country and of the whole world. Unless and until all the human ventures are connected with God, they cannot get their perfect stage and their status. That's why we have problems now in the West, supposed to be very clever people, very smart, very well equipped, well educated. We are having recessions and things because they have no balance. They don't know that there is God's power which works on them. And when you neglect that, this is what happens to you. Now for any venture that we do of this kind, first of all, we have to use a lot of material from the Mother Earth. But if it is taken for a proper purpose, for constructive things, and for helping others, with a balance, the Mother Earth can think. She can produce more and more all this she has produced before. She can produce for people who are sensible, who are in tune with God, not just making money for themselves or for their own purpose, but are thinking in totality, thinking as to what we can achieve by doing this. And that is how an industry can grow. Now see, in Japan, so much industry has grown, but no spirituality. They are not at all happy people. The children are suffering, families are suffering. Money cannot get the total well-being of a human being. So a balance has to be drawn. Especially in our country, thank God, we didn't have such a fast industrialization. And that's why we are saved of lots of problems that the Western people are suffering, about which the Indians are not aware. They think you are all living in a very comfortable life there. Industry has to go hand in hand with the handicrafts. And industrialists have to also look after the artists. Because otherwise, who will look after them? How will they bring forth the balance between the art and the industry? An art is such a soothing thing for these hard-working people. They work the whole day. Then there is some sort of a music, art, to console them, to give them peace, to relax them, and a balance. So I would say that all industries must take to some artistic ventures also, or they should also produce things. After, I was telling Rajesh many a times that you should try to produce something artistic out of the steel scrap that's left over. Will be a good idea. They have tried something now. But industry should not be looked down upon as it is looked down upon in our country. I mean, as if industrialists are the greatest thieves and all the politicians are saints in this country. It's the other way around, I think. It should be treated with respect and should be understood. That's very important. And the industrialists, if they become also enlightened, they can do a lot, not only to their own country, but also to the people whom they are looking after. So in the Mahalakshmi principle, Mahalakshmi has various mudras. One of the mudra is that she puts her right hand like this. Now this right hand is to give protection to people who are under the protection or under the service of some rich man or the industrialist, we can call it. In India, if you call somebody a rich man, it's like abusing him. I mean, nobody likes it. Because the rich are always shown to be the worst people, which is not so. In my own experience, it's not so. If there's a poor man also, he could be terrible. We have had very bad experiences now in Ganpatipura of very poor people, how they behaved in a very funny manner, supposed to be poor. So it should be a proper balance. It should be brought to a proper balance between the understanding of the poor and the rich and the rich and the poor. After some time you will find that people will not consider poverty or riches as so important. But the richness of the spirit will become very important. That is what is going to be the Sahaj nations, where the richness of the heart, the spirituality, oneness with the divine will become the greatest boon for everyone. But still we are struggling to be on that state. Many are, and still we go into materialistic tantrums or some sort of a stupid worrying fall. All these must be carefully watched. If you can keep this chariot of new progress progressing faster, we are going to create a new world of complete harmony, complete peace, joy and love. But for that you are the ones who have to do it. I cannot do it. If I could have done it, I would not have asked you to join such. It's like a horses and the chariot. Horses are to be driven. Charioteer doesn't drive the chariot. In the same way, you must understand your responsibility that this is the greatest work we are doing. It's not only the industry or the labor and the capital I'm talking about, but I'm talking about the totality of well-being. Of course, all this is a part and parcel of that, no doubt. But the balance should be with the totality. So we have to think of a total well-being. Once we start thinking of the total well-being, then first thing that should come to us, are we capable of bringing up that total well-being? Are we? Have we got the total well-being within ourselves or not? Have we? We are still worried if the plane is coming or not. I mean, we are so mundane, so little, so small. With one bandhan, you can control any plane, any atmosphere, and here you are, still worried about things which are absolutely under your control. So this totality has to be thought over. What is this totality that Mother is talking about? In this totality, a world has to be created of people, by the people, who have no fear. This fear has to be. Behind all this nonsensical nervousness is fear. So for that, what she does is to give Abhaydan. Under her protection, you are beyond fear, you are protected. But if you don't want to believe in yourself, and you don't believe into her protection, then nobody can help you. Because everything is mythical for you. In every venture that we take up, we should not have any fear, because God is with you, is a fact, is the truth. You just try. But when you try through your ego, you fall into the trap of fear. I have seen egoistical people are the most frightened people and panicked, because they panic others, and so they think they can be panicked one day. When the English were here, first of all, in England, India, we were all frightened of them. Now, I see that in England, every English family is frightened of others. They'll only open a chink of the door to see who is there and shut it. They're so frightened. I'm surprised they are the same English who ruled us here. And we were so peevish before them. And now they are the ones who are frightened of us. Because when a person who is egoistical tries to dominate others, he sees himself in the mirror and thinks that the other person will dominate. That's how this fear creeps into our minds, and we start getting all kinds of these stupid tantrums out of this mythical fear. The fear is created by our ego. A person who has no ego, he'll have no fear, because he has not harmed anyone. Why should you have any fear? And such a man or such a woman will be looked after by God, because God takes over. When you surrender your ego to God, He takes over. But those who have ego, He says, all right, go ahead. Use your ego, try to protect yourself, cut your throat. That's what it is. So when I talk of total benevolence, I am talking about your own total benevolence. So first is the fear, which should go out of your mind completely if you believe in the Almighty God. We'll say, you are Almighty God, you are Almighty this thing. It's all lip service. If you believe that God is Almighty and you are connected with God, then why should you have any fear of anything? But when we say don't have fear, another extreme comes up. We don't have fear, we can do what we like, we can perform everything ourselves, we need not tell anyone. You have to tell God whatever you are doing. You have to take permission, you have to inform in His darbar, in His court, that, sir, we are thinking of doing such and such thing. But you think you are God. You are not. And that's why the another part of non-fear is this kind of an arbitrary behavior, which is very dangerous for sahaja, for yourself, or for everybody else. The second fear, I have is that if I tell you anything, 99% of you understand is for your benevolence, is for your good. But there is 1% of people who can just react because they have too much ego and they won't take it because they don't think of their own benevolence. They don't understand that if I am telling them anything, it is just to give them completeness, totality. But on the contrary, they take a very wrong attitude. This is another nonsense. So now one has to develop a kind of a indifference to this kind of people who unnecessarily go to the other limit of their own destruction. I don't want to see what is the point in everything that I am telling. Only I can tell you. Who else? I have to tell you what's wrong with you, what you have done wrong, and then you must change it. This is another style of reaction one gets. Means they are not interested in their own benevolence. They are not interested in the benevolence of their children. They are not interested in the benevolence of their country or the whole world. Now why have you come to Sahaja? Just ask one question. Of course, for you to ascend. But ascend for what? Supposing we bring one tube light. For what? We have to take the tube light. For what? We have to put the light. But this tube light doesn't give light, nothing of the kind. So what's the use of having this tube light? In the same way, what's the use of coming to Sahaja if you cannot become the light of the divine? So all of you, each one of you, is not at all a small person, no one. But you don't realize what you are. Still have those funny conditionings by which you think you are no good. All of you can come up and see so many people. If they take to total benevolence within themselves, it will manifest itself outside. Absolutely is a fact. Then the attention is very important. The attention should be on your own perfection and on your total benevolence. This is also another point people miss, that they start finding faults with others instead of finding faults with themselves. As a result, if you look at others, what will you get out of it? I just don't understand. If somebody is wrong, he's doing something evil, he's bad, even if you put attention to him, what will you do about it? But if you have something wrong, you have every right, you have every control, and you can correct yourself. I said, this is especially Indian quality, is to find faults with others. They'll never see that what's wrong with us. All the time, the attention is involved in finding with faults with others. Then how can we improve? On the contrary, if you start seeing faults, you get faulty much more. It's a copycat nature of human beings. They see somebody doing like this, oh mother, he is a sahajogi, he does like this, so what's the harm if I do? But who says he is a sahajogi? So sahajogi is not a brand, it's not a certificate, it's not a kind of a organization, but it is your own status that you have achieved. Anybody can say I am a sahajogi. After all, I cannot stop him from saying I am not such a sahajogi. Even some, I have seen some mad people, they are sahajogis. For years together they are mad, but they are sahajogis. But you have to see for yourself, am I a sahajogi or not, before certifying yourself. Why don't you find out? But despite that, I must say it's such a satisfaction. I never expected that so many people will get their realization to be them. Never. I mean, I knew that it was Ama's modus operandi I have developed, but I never expected. why it has happened. And even now I have to expect that all of you will achieve the highest positions, the Paramapada, as I said, like the North Pole or like the Meru, absolutely Atala, which cannot be disturbed. So that's my hope, and I'm sure we'll all comply with it. I'll tell you in English, I have told you many times about Namadeva and Gora Kumbhar, how Gora Kumbhar, when he saw Namadeva saw Gora Kumbhar was kneading the clay for his pottery. He just went and stood before him, stunned. And what he says, that I have come to see here the formless, that's the vibration. But the formless is in a form. This is the appreciation one sahajayogi should have for another. Every sahajayogi is a gem. Even the thought of a gem should bring joy to you. In every life, every style, in every areas, every dimensions, one should have this kind of a feeling. Muslims, Hindus, Christians, we do not accept. For us, we are all sahajogis, and we have faith in all the religions. Not samabhava. We have faith in everything. As well as we worship Rama, we worship Muhammad Sahib also. Same way, no less. As we worship Brahmadeva, or as we worship Krishna Dattatreya, we worship Zoroaster. There's no difference at all. Same way. There's a big difference in having just the same, the same respect. It's not that. But we worship the same way. So there's no question of differentiating each other, nor on country-wise, nothing. And whatever defects we have, we see to it that this has come from our country, which I see many sahajogis tell me, this is typical English, this is typically French, this is typically Italian. They themselves tell me. But main thing one has to understand is this, that in Sahaja we have lost all these boundaries. Nothing is there. We have reached that state where we are all one. And the idea of any sahajogi whatsoever, any individual sahajogi or a group of sahajogis, should fill you up with joy, and a kind of a wave of joy which is continuously coming. Because they are in the form of joy, peace. If this appreciation is reached, then only one can say that you are sahajogis. And that is one of the tests I have seen. You love me very much, I know all of you. But unless and until you love each other, how am I going to be happy? So today, especially this Mahalakshmi principle, when it is awakened within you, then you get out of a Lakshmi principle which makes you little selfish, maybe self-centered, and you get into a new dimension of searching the higher value system, something beyond, without any limitations. And that Mahalakshmi principle is really nothing in essence, if you see, is nothing but you are seeking the universal love. In the essence it is that. We don't love people because they belong to some country, because they look like this, that this is this, nothing. We love them only because they are our part and parcel. We are one with them. So those who are today worshipping Mahalakshmi should feel how many worshippers of Mahalakshmi are there. And they are all our own. It's such a great feeling. Otherwise, in Maharashtra especially, I must say, was horrible. One sahajogi goes to preach in another district. The district leader starts fighting. Just like this sound. Who are you to come here? I am the leader. Instead of respecting him and making him a welcome guest, asking him, what can you help? There's a big fight. Well, Israel is surprising. How can it happen? When Namadeva went to Punjab, Guru Nanak Sahib respected him. Not only that, but he told him that you write now in Punjabi language also. I've seen such a big book written by Namadeva. Can you imagine? He included all the great saints of Maharashtra in his Grantha Sahib. Because he knew that these are realized souls, they are higher souls, but the Sikhs are only reading it, nothing goes into their heads. What can you do? So at that time, if the saints could love each other, could express themselves in such a manner, why not we, the sahajayogis from all over the world? So I would say now that let us see, it's a very nice program of Ras we'll be having, where all the Indian and foreign sahajayogis are going to be together and are going to dance together. All such things are there. So don't sit in groups, but mix up with others, know them. And this is what we are going to know, each and every sahajayogi of the whole world. It's very important for me that you should love each other. It will really soothe me the most. It will give me the greatest joy, the greatest achievement, and the fulfillment of my life. If somebody is really definitely wrong, you just write to me and I will know, because immediately I'll know from vibrations. Nobody can befool me, that's one thing for sure. Some people say that somebody's told this to mother, and nothing can be told to mother. You don't know, I'm too cunning for all this. Nobody can tell me anything. I know each and every, I play around a little bit, but I know each and every person. I give them a chance to hang themselves for a time being. But never believe that anybody can befool me and tell anything. I listen to everyone. And you can try that. If you love another sahajayogi, this loving process itself is so joy-giving. When you first saw me this time on the stage, you felt that way. Because this process of loving is the greatest joy-giving thing. So be happy, be joyous. If some people are missing the plane, well and good, you will live with other sahajayogis here. After all, you are somewhere in the world. You are not lost. Even if you are in the sea, you are there. On the plane, you are there. What does it matter? Why is it so important that this plane must be reserved and you must worry about this plane, I must get out at this time? There's no need. Wherever you are with sahajayogis, so why worry? You are, that's the point. Like many people ask me, whether you travel so much, how is it you don't get tired? Because I never think I'm traveling. I just think I am, that's all. Whether in the plane or here or there, I'm just there. I have to tell me I'm traveling. Then again I forget. So you are, whether you are here or in England or anywhere, you are here. Or you are there. So why to worry, especially with the plane? I think there's something wrong with the Western genetics. The plane enters into their kundalini, I think, and they go so bizarre with the aeroplanes. I've never been able to understand. I've given them so many lessons to show that don't do all this nonsense, but still they go on doing this. But if I tell them, they feel guilty, but again they do it. Next time, if your plane is 8 o'clock, go at 9 o'clock. The plane will wait for you till 10 o'clock. Take it from. It has happened. So many can tell this. So many experiences are there. I mean, we haven't written them down, but people know how planes have been delayed for us. I've never missed a plane all my life. And when I missed it, it was with a purpose. It's big things happened. So it is important, it's a drama. The worry should be one, why can't I love everyone as I love myself? I tell you only this, universal love will give you that confidence and that higher status. Why these saints suffer for you? Why did Christ suffer for you? Why Muhammad Sahib suffered for you? Why anybody talked to you about dharma? Why Ganeshwara wrote Ganeshwara? Why? What did they get? This satisfaction of their expression of universal love. All the great poets, William Blake or anyone, whatever they have done, it's just because they have this universal love and they want to express it. Why not you do it? So if you want your Mahalakshmi principle to be all the time burning, then please see that you love each and every sahajayogi. That's the message today. I hope you'll understand that. May God bless you.